Hi, good morning. We're here with Nick Brennand from the IceCo. How you doing, Nick?
I'm very well, Mike. Thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks. Thanks for coming on to the business spotlight. So, if you're able to give us a little bit more background as to who you are, what it is you do, and yeah, a bit more about the IceCo, please.
Yeah, no problem at all. Well, myself, I'm the European Commercial Director for the Ice Co. As the name implies, we make ice cubes. So all the lovely bags of ice that you'll buy when the weather finally starts to shine. Hopefully, people are watching the football when they're listening to this later on from the supermarkets, bars, and restaurants, etc. So we're the largest ice manufacturer in Europe.
Awesome. So what's the history of the company? Does it go back a fair bit, I believe, from
Yes,
the
it's
website and reading that earlier?
really interesting history behind the business. Actually, the family initially started the business started in 1860, and it was actually around the kind of Hull docks with fishing and fishing vessels. And initially, of course, when you go out collecting fish, they are kind of put on ice, if you will. So initially, by started off by kind of chipping off by ice blocks. As the years evolved, moved into having ice factories at Fleetwood and Hull docks where the boats were. And then over the years, that business was sold and there were some ice factories. So we started to utilize those. Somebody in the 80s had a great idea. Again, one of the family members went to America, had a look and went, wow, you can buy ice cubes in supermarkets. That'd be a great idea. And it was literally the business has been built on the back of that.
Fantastic. So, how do you stand out in a market such as this? Is it being the pioneer, or is there anything else in terms of the way the business operates that makes it more unique than other competitors in the space?
Uh, yes, and I'd probably say that the key thing that we use to kind of stand out, and you as a consumer might not see it as much, but is availability.
Yeah.
So for us, it's, if you're going in on a Friday night buying your bag of ice from the supermarket and it's 35 degrees outside, you expect that ice to be there. And I think, well, of course, I want to buy ice. Where is it? But actually, as a supplier, and we have learned this the hard way over the years, I will say, that when the sun shines for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, how do we make sure we have enough ice available? How do we make sure the supermarkets have enough ice available
Yeah,
that suddenly and sales can change by 30-fold in a 24-hour period.
yeah.
So literally from today, I'm Manchester, it's a bit grey and miserable, nothing new. If the
Yeah.
sun shines on Saturday, we get a 30-fold increase going throughout all the local supermarkets. So for us, it's being ready and able and capable, working with the supermarkets to kind of get all that supply chain through to make sure that customers can always buy ice and that they
Sure.
never run out over the summer.
So do you have it in stock then sat ready and waiting to go, and then at any point when the demand surges that you're there to deliver it?
Yes, so we work with the retailers really, and we kind of manage the whole supply chain. So we make sure that, for example, a local Tesco store, Sainsbury's store, etc., has enough space on the shelf. Quite often they will have shipping containers at the back of the store full of ice. We also make sure then that retail has enough space in their distribution centre. We actually own and operate our own frozen warehouse. It's quite a substantial one with about 20,000 pallets, and we're certainly the only manufacturer that we're aware of in Europe that does this.
Mhm.
So we will hold that in stock ready, and then we have the factory as well. So when the sun shines, we have the kind of whole supply chain that we help manage to meet demand.
Fantastic. So if I'm a retailer and I need ice, you're the people to go to.
We certainly, yes.
Brilliant. So how long have you been with the business, Nick?
I'm just coming up to nearly 10 years in the
Wow,
business.
10 years. So what's your business journey been like to date, if you could describe it in one word with being with the Ice Co?
Yeah, I think with the actually got fun. Actually, I have to say it's been a very enjoyable journey, and with the culture and with the business, it's been an enjoyable 10 years.
Fantastic. So what are the challenges ahead versus and or potentially the opportunities that you see for you guys in this
Yeah.
this industry?
Yes, we operate in the probably one of the toughest industries in the country in Europe. The UK grocery retail is renowned for being kind of one of the toughest and the most focused. So for us, really, the opportunities tend to bring the challenges. So when we've done quite a lot of research quite a few years ago into ice, understanding the ice market, understanding the ice consumer. So, Mike, I could probably put you into one of three different areas when you go out and buy your ice. I know what type of buyer you are. I know you've got a young family, so there's probably parties. So I can already allocate you into a certain type of buyer. And we looked at it, and around 16% of households actually buy ice from a supermarket. So for us, we looked and went, wow. So 84% of households don't buy ice cubes from a supermarket in one form or another. Why is that? What's going on with that? So we kind of understand that dynamic, and we know our target is we work with the retailers to grow that 16% so more people buy ice. And that with it brings its challenges. Because if we go from 16% to 17 to 18 to 19, well, then that puts pressures on the supermarkets because they have to get more space available because more people are buying it, and their logistics have to change. It puts pressure on our distribution network. We have to hold more stock. It puts pressure on our factory that we then have to increase the size of our factory. So we try and manage that. So the opportunity brings with it the challenges in a good way. So we can know how to grow the market and just purely focus on that.
Fascinating. I've got out of pure intrigue, how do you get to increase that market share? So say someone like me who got an ice box in the freezer at home and pretty much set in the ways of using that, how would you increase my desire to buy ice from a supermarket?
Yeah, well, the conversation's taken a turn if I'm increasing your desire, Mike.
Yeah, my demand, do we say?
Yes. There's quite a key actually in both those words actually that you will have the desire to buy ice. So for example, I'll use an example. You've got a party at home. One of the kids has a party. You've got 30 people, 30 other kids from school, parents come round, etc. So you're kind of planning for the party. You'll have your kind of shopping list. As you're going out, you're throwing a barbecue at home. Summer's nice. Football might be on. Your shopping list. You'll never, ever, ever forget booze. You can't host it like that. So there'll be all the wine, drinks. Sure. You'll probably spend 5-10 minutes chatting with your wife, going, "Oh, I think they drink vodka. Do we drink beer? Do we buy Guinness?" You go around that. What kind of food do the kids want? What kind of food do the adults want? How we're going to cook it? Barbecue. And throughout all that conversation, ice tends to get forgotten. So it's always, our research shows 60 to 65% of consumers forget to buy ice. So because it doesn't appear on the shopping list. And you tend to notice it when you come home later and there's usually a profanity and goes, "I need ice cubes now because actually I need to put my ice bucket with the drinks in." And to host a party without ice in the summer particularly is, for want of a better phrase, you're a bad host. So I'm sure you've never done this, Mike, but
I need lots of ice in my gin and tonic, that's for sure. And if someone serves me a gin and tonic that's pretty not cold enough with loads and loads of ice, and it runs out at a party, gutted.
100%, you cannot run out of ice. So therefore you've got to do that. Supermarket, so we know that's the kind of general behavior. So we spend a lot of time, so our views, well, okay, we use the phrase, don't forget the ice. So you'll find in the summer, we'll actually move the ice location through to the middle of the store. So you'll see it on what they term the gondola ends. So you see it. So you walk through and goes, ice, I need that. And kind of get it. On all the barbecue adverts we try and do, we talk to retailers, say, just put a bag of ice with your gin, your tonic, your burgers. We're starting to test a lot more with retailers now around the beers, wines, and spirits aisles. Don't forget the ice, little kind of labels that go on the store that say, so you buy your vodka, your gin, your wine, kind of, oh, actually, I do need bags of ice. So it really is quite simple once you understand the consumer, but getting to that point was a bit difficult. And So we know that, and then we work with it. And then, so once you tell people it's aware, show them where the ice is, it's keeping it in stock. Because again, there's
Fantastic.
nothing worse than running out of ice.
Good stuff. Thank you for that explanation. Nice and clear. Nice subtle
Right?
differences around the supermarket there to remind me to get me ice.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the 10 years that you've been there, what would you say is your biggest lesson that you've learned in business to date? If there's one you could share, a pearl of wisdom.
Yeah, I think, Joe, there's probably two. One
Yeah.
is knowledge and understanding. It's we started the business, we're great, we're in a good niche, we got well with our customers, but really understanding the market. We spend quite a lot of time understanding the consumer, our customers, because small details can make the difference in winning or losing. So, we've talked to Tesco, for example, once about putting freezers in the front of the store when the Euros are on. I was like, yeah, brilliant idea. Everyone kind of rushed ahead and went, oh, actually, where are the plugs in the store? And we couldn't plug freezers in. So you kind of revert. So it's really understanding your customer and your consumer. Because if I understand the way you think and behave, those small differences kind of make us win. And we do that, we look at the European market, we look at other great ideas. So I think that for us has been the big one. And that takes a lot of time and effort, putting
Yeah.
time and effort and focus on that and resource to understand that. And the second one is people.
Yeah.
For us, it's all about the people. It's all about the people in the retail stores, helping make their life easier. How do they get ice, put it on the shelves? It's quite a heavy box. How do the warehouse operators work? How do Tesco buyers, we use the phrase ice champions, because if my customers, we create ice champions in our customers, because once they understand the ice market and go, ooh, this is actually really interesting. And actually, consumers are quite annoyed that they can't find ice. And
Yeah.
actually, it's a great product. I can sell more. And those ice champions then look after, so we kind of win hearts and minds. So and it's the same internally within any business. So we
Yeah.
try and create ice champions with every person we touch in our business.
Fantastic. Good shares there. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
that. So, in terms of yourself and inspiration that you use to get out of bed in the morning, what inspires you to do what you do?
Looks like I get kicked out of bed every morning with a coffee. So it's actually, John, I've got to say, one thing that does, because I've been having to think about this a few days, does inspire me is actually the customers that we deal with. I am never failed to be amazed at how, in an incredibly difficult and challenging market, they find ways to improve. It's all those kind of 100 small ways to improve that move the business forward. And there's no kind of one big thing. I think, wow, that is unbelievable. But I watch these guys, and it's the relentlessness and the kind of hard work and graft, and it's around those kind of areas where you kind of go, every day makes you think, right, if I can just make that small change every day, every month, every week, that improves the business all the time,
Yeah.
into my business, that just reflects the way you're in a different place in 1 or 2, 3 years. And that's worked very well for us. And that's what we'll keep doing. Keep questioning, challenging, learning,
Yeah.
and evolving.
That's it. Fantastic. You can get inspired by your environment, the people that you hang around with. So that's a good reflection of that kind of
Yeah.
scenario, really. Good stuff. So if you were to meet yourself at 18, or perhaps a younger person coming up to you and saying, Nick, I'm interested in getting into business, starting out, what piece of advice would you offer that person?
I think meeting myself at 18, I'll probably
Yeah,
never,
if you
I'll
think
probably
about
never
yourself
employ myself, and I would have a
in
full,
in in
full head of
hindsight,
hair. Yes.
right, what all you've learned
Yeah.
today, what
I
best piece of
think,
advice could you offer?
again, probably a couple of things I've learned over years is do it your way. So I first started out in sales, and I found it quite difficult. I'm not a natural gregarious cold caller salesperson. And I
Yeah.
kind of went, I can't do it. This is not for me, this. But then actually, because I was trying to do it the way, pure training taught me, or somebody showed me to do it. But actually, once you find your own way of doing things, actually thinking, oh, I can do this actually. And I see so many talented people with a slightly different way. So I'll approach a problem one way, my team will do it completely differently. And some of them will make no sense to me, but by God, they'll get a better result. And actually, I look at that and think, well, do it your own way, use your own ingenuity.
Yeah.
And the basics, you can't beat hard work, consistency, and integrity. And unfortunately, over the years, I've been burnt by the integrity bit. I do think that people, again, this is coming back to people. It's, you work hard, you consistently work hard, and you do the right thing. We constantly make decisions that are difficult, but when you look at them and say, well, actually, we do the right thing for our customers, our consumers, our staff, our team, that helps you sleep better at night and makes you do the right thing, and certainly pays in the long term.
Yeah, good advice there. Just be able to justify, well, personally and professionally as well, having that integrity, justifying making tough decisions. But if you're doing it for the right reasons, then you'll be all right in the long run. Like that.
And I generally find as well really difficult conversations. People respect it. It's harder to have the conversation, but it's just not going to work. We just can't do this. And here's the reasons why.
Yeah. Good advice. Thank you for that share. So then lastly, in terms of any latest news around what the ICECO's up to, or if it's simply a case of sharing your website, just let us know now for people who may wish to get in touch.
Yeah, I think so our website is theiceco.co.uk, and you'll see all our products in major supermarkets. Have a look at the kind of party ice, premium ice. You'll see the ice. Just feel free to go and purchase our ice, and hope it adds to your parties over the summer.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Thanks very much, Nick. Been an absolute pleasure talking with you, and thank you for sharing all that you have. I wish you all the best for the future of the business.
Thank you very much, Mike. It's been very nice talking to you.